Yo, what up YouTube? This is my first video, so I don't know honestly where to start. I guess I could start with who I am. So, 24 years old, my name's Kai, and I basically self-employed. In the simplest form, I'm an entrepreneur. And yeah, people ask me all the time, like, is it scary doing entrepreneurship? And I would say yeah, because you're honestly stepping foot into something that you're not really familiar with. Like working a job, you're familiar with getting told things, instructions, and basic training when you first get started. They give you what it is, orientation days. So basically you just learn it, right? You basically learn it. But being told that and being told things to do is different from actually starting your own thing. Yeah, right? Because no one's actually gonna guide you. No one's gonna hold your hand on the journey for entrepreneurship. And it is scary, yes, but I think to me the fear of not actually achieving my own dreams is my own fear. Like, I feel like at first when I first started, I wanted to be something. I wanted to do something with my life. I didn't want to just work at a big aircraft company, right? Like, sure, I got paid six figures. I got paid good money for it. But in the end, I was working for someone else's dream. And that's not really what I wanted. Like, at the end of the day, that's not really what I wanted. So, I took the big leap and I quit, right? 2 years into it, I'm driving one of my dream cars, and I have a dream house on the way. So it's more or less of like you will never know if you never do it. Simple as that. Like, people think doing it is hard, but like not doing it is also just as hard. Like, you trying to avoid every single possible way of why you shouldn't do it is also hard, because in your mind you're fighting it. Like, you're resisting every living fiber of it to avoid doing it. Like procrastination. Like, what homework's due, and you're gonna delay it no matter what, because your brain doesn't want to face that resistance. It's the same thing as starting a business or starting something new that you're scared to start. You're just nervous inside, and your body and your brain chemicals fire off all the resistance that it could possibly muster. But think about it. What if it worked out? Like, what if it actually did? It's the same thing as planting a seed. Like, the best time was 20 years ago, but we're not 20 years ago, we're now. So the best time would be now, because once you plant that, it's going to grow. Whereas if you didn't plant it, it's not going to grow, right? You're not going to see any fruits of labor later on. So planting it now, in a year or two, you could probably grow more of whatever you just planted, right? The same sense there. When you're first starting out in business or anything, you're not gonna really achieve much. Like, without any real guidance or anything, you're not gonna really achieve much. But the thing you gain there is the experience. The experience is everything that's going to make you better going forward for your second or third business. Like, I will admit, I opened a clothing brand at first. It didn't go well because I didn't know what print on demand was. So it just ended up not really working out for marketing reasons. And then I learned you can't really work with a high school best friend if you can't really find common ground together, right? It just ended up like money and business did not collide very well with our friendship. And that's something that's very true. You can't really mix friendship with business unless they can operate with money and business at the same time. Because in the end, it's more or less like you're really committed, or they're really committed, or it's like vice versa. It's like one or the other. If one person's putting up all the work, the other person probably feels entitled to be like, oh, this was our project. But in the end, they didn't really do much, and it's just a power struggle the entire time. So you're just fighting over And then greed happens. You start getting greedy over like the initial split, the initial agreement, whatever it might be, right? They feel more entitled, or you feel more entitled to, like, hey, I've been putting more work, so I deserve more. So it's just, business with friends is kind of like a tricky situation. You kind of have to know that they can get their shit done, or like actually be able to do the task, and under pressure, right? Business also, at the same time, you have all the pressure on you. It's a 24-hour thing. Like, if your business has a problem, you got to fix it, man. If it takes you 16 hours to fix that problem, then it's going to take you 16 hours to fix that problem, right? In a 9 to 5, you just work the 9 to 5 and then you go home. So after 8 hours, you don't have to deal with that problem until tomorrow or the next week going forward, right? In that sense, like, you're kind of relieved from that duty. But when you're on business and your business like is faltering or needs help, like, you need to be out and doing it. So whether that be a 2-hour problem or a 24-hour problem, that's something that you will have to figure out, right? So yeah, first starting out, it was hard because I had a lot of resistance. Like, a lot of friends didn't support me. My parents didn't honestly support me either. But that's life, right? My parents, I understood where they came from. It's more of, it came from a good place where they're looking out for me, whether it be for health, money, or in any sense, right? Like, they want what's best for me. So in their mind, me quitting my job didn't really sit with them well, because in their eyes, their son is just quitting. Like, what's the point of quitting a job? Like, they thought at the time, because neither one of them have a business or like run one, right? So in their mind, hard work, hard-earned money. So in the end, it was more like, why are you quitting? Like, you have a good job, you get paid well. Like, there's no sense in quitting. But it's your life, man. Like, truth be told, like, it is your life. Like, it's your goals, it's your dreams. No one else is going to really achieve it for you. So as much as I love both my parents, I respectfully did my own thing. I still did my own thing, and this is where I'm at. But in a sense, I understood my mom, because I took her recently this year, Vietnam, for a whole month, right? Just for her to catch up with her childhood friends, all that stuff, because she was taking care of me for the 24 years, She chose to take care of me, leave the home country she knew, married my dad, moved over here, right? Like, in a sense, I have respect and gratitude. Like, she gave me the life that I have now. Raised me to have the mindset and the mentality to get things done. Even though it wasn't her intention for me to quit and start a business, right? But eventually, like, once I was able to buy a first-class plane ticket for her and me to go to Vietnam, it kind of changed her perspective of, like, oh, business can actually work. But it's the skepticism. Like, I cannot blame her for it, right? Like, the stigma behind business is not working. It's like, sure, you had one failed product, and then some people, like, that one failed product is like the entire vision for like the rest of everything else. So like, if that product didn't work, or this business model didn't work, you're just gonna assume business will never work. Launching this brand or whatever will never work. But to fail is to learn. Is to learn the mistakes so you can become better and not make those same mistakes. It's the same thing at the gym. You don't know any better and you have a poor diet. So you have a salad and then you put a shit ton of ranch on it, right? And in the end, those calories catch up to you. Like, you're not gonna really lose any weight because you ate all that ranch with the salad, right? Or like having a poor workout. Like, maybe you do like a heavy set but poor form, right? You're not gonna really build muscle specifically. It's just, in order to actually know anything, you have to go through it, right? And yeah, they weren't really supportive, but I think the key point that my mom finally understood when I finally took her to Vietnam, it was like, she had an epiphany, like, yeah, this could actually work. But it all requires trust, right? And both my parents trusted me on it. I mean, they were very rocky on that trust because I said I was going to do it anyway, so I ended up doing it anyway. But yeah, seeing her just enjoy her time with her friends, her family members, our family members technically, it was a surreal feeling. Like just letting her live for a whole month in her own country again, you know? Like I got to see the childlike version of my mom, and that made me like really emotional. Like just being able to like give her back the world that I wanted to give, you know, for so long. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it was a good feeling, right? She broke down in front of me and said, you know, I'm sorry for saying all that shit about not starting a business and like how I was gonna be a failure if I did it, right? But it was a moment to like just take in. Like that to me made my entire like soul just hit different. Like, you know how like people go through a midlife crisis? It's kind of like the same thing, but I didn't go through like a midlife crisis. I went through like a midlife enlightenment. But yeah, that really hit me, and then it just really basically reinforced like the things I'm doing now. I think it was the right decision. Like, and that's the thing. There is no right decision for each and every person. Each and every person will see that as a not the right choice or the right choice, right? It just depends on what you feel like is the right choice. If you feel like doing, you know, entrepreneurship or career climbing or whatever it is that you're passionate about is the right choice, then do it. Try it. But also, like, don't just quit your job and all that stuff, you know. I did that because I finally knew, like, my business was stable enough to quit. So, I'm not advising you to quit. Yeah, this was kind of like a yap session for my first video, but F it, right? F it. Yeah. Signing off.